Last night, you left your body, not literally, but close enough. While you were sleeping, your brain created an entire world, completely made of people, places, conversations that never happened, and you believed all of it. You didn't question it for even 1 second, and then your alarm went off, and it was gone, like it never existed. Here's what's strange though. Scientists have been studying dreams for over 70 years. We have brain scanners, we have sleep labs, we can watch your brain while you dream in real life, and we still have absolutely no idea why you do it. Not really, not fully. Today we are going to go through what we do know, and honestly, the stuff we know is even weirder than the mystery itself. First, some facts that will immediately change how you think about your sleep. You don't have one dream a night, you have between 4 and 6 every single night without exception. Most people think they don't dream much. That's not true. What's actually happening is your brain throws away almost all of it the moment you wake up. Study shows that 95% of your dreams are completely forgotten within the 10 minutes of getting out of bed. Think about that. Your brain is creating full movies every single night, with characters, storylines, emotions, and then deleting almost all of them before you had breakfast. The dreams that you do remember, they almost always happen in the morning, and here's why. Throughout the night, your brain goes through different stages of sleep. The deepest, most active stage is called REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement. During REM sleep, your eyes actually move back and forth under your eyelids. Your brain becomes almost as active as when you are fully awake. Your first REM stage of the night only lasts about 10 minutes, but by morning, your REM stage gets longer and longer, sometimes up to an hour. That's when your most vivid dreams happen. So if you want to remember your dreams, sleep in a little. The good stuff is at the end. Now, here's something that genuinely surprised me when I first learned about it. While you're dreaming, your body is paralyzed. Not fully, you're still breathing, your heart is beating, but your muscles switched off. Your brain actually sends a signal down your spine that blocks movement. It does this so you don't act out what's happening in your dream, which is a great system most of the time. This is the part where it gets interesting because there isn't one answer. There are 4 main theories that scientists take seriously, and each one kind of makes sense and each one has problems. Let's go through them. Think about how you feel after something really stressful happens. A fight with someone you care about, a bad day at work, a piece of news that just sits wrong with you. There's a researcher named Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley. He says that during REM sleep, your brain replays those emotional memories but without the stress hormones that come with them. It's like watching the same event again but from a calmer place. Over time, this softens the emotional charge of the memory. It still happened, but it doesn't sting quite the same way. Walker calls REM sleep overnight therapy, and there's evidence for this. When people are deprived of REM sleep, specifically not all sleep, just the dreaming stage, they start to struggle with emotions within days. They miss people's faces, they see threats that aren't there, their emotional regulations just falls apart. So one purpose of dreaming might simply be processing the day, making sure it doesn't break you. This one comes from a neuroscientist in Finland named Antti Rivonso, and it's a little dark, but bear with me. He noticed something interesting about the content of dreams. Most dreams, about 66%, involve negative emotions: fear, anxiety, being chased, losing something important, running away from something, or falling. His theory is that this isn't a bug, it's a feature. Going back millions of years, our ancestors lived in a world full of real physical dangers, and Rivonso's idea is that dreaming evolved as a kind of overnight training simulator. Your brain runs through threatening scenarios while you are safe and sleeping, so that when something like that happens in real life, you have actually practiced. That's also why children have more nightmares than adults. They are at their most vulnerable state. The brain is running the drill constantly, trying to get them ready. It sounds bleak, but if it's true, your most terrifying dreams are your brain looking out for you. Okay, this one is less poetic, but it might be closer to the truth. Some scientists think dreams don't have a purpose at all. What's actually happening, they say, is that your brain is doing its real job at night, sorting and filling memories from the day, moving information from short-term storage to long-term storage, deciding what to keep and what to delete. Dreams in this view are just what it looks like when that process accidentally becomes conscious, like the flickering of the screen while a computer is saving files in the background. You're not meant to experience it, but sometimes you do. This is supported by the fact that what you dream about usually tracks closely to your day. Stressed about something, you'll dream about it. Learning something new, you'll often practice it in your dream. About 65% of your dream content connects directly to your recent walking life. Maybe dreams are just brain working and you're accidentally watching. I saved this one for the last because it was the one that made me stop and just think about for a while. In 2020, a neuroscientist named David Eagleman, he is at Stanford, published a new theory, and it starts with a simple observation about the brain. Different regions of the brain are always competing for space, and the rule is use it or lose it. If one region goes quiet, if it stops getting signals, the regions around it start to take over. They expand into the empty space. Here's the wild part. Scientists did an experiment where they blindfolded healthy people with perfectly good eyesight, and within just just 1 hour, their visual cortex started being taken over by touch and hearing signals. Now think about what happens every single night. It gets dark. Your eyes close. The visual cortex, one of the largest regions of your brain, suddenly stops receiving input. It goes dark and is surrounded by regions that process sound, touch, and smell, which still work perfectly fine in the dark. So, how does the visual cortex protect itself? Eagleman says it dreams. Every 90 minutes during REM sleep, a specific cluster of neurons fires a burst of activity directly into the visual cortex. Artificial input from inside your own head, just enough to keep it busy, just enough to say, I'm still here, don't take my place. This would also explain why dreams are almost always visual. Of all your senses, vision is the only one that gets completely shut off by darkness. Hearing, smell, touch, those still work at night. Only your eyes go dark, so only your visual cortex needs defending. If Eagleman is right, you are not dreaming to process emotions or to run simulations or because your brain is filling papers. You are dreaming because if you didn't, you might slowly lose your ability to see. That's one hit differently for me, I'll be honest. So let me tell you another story about dreams. A few days before Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, he called his wife and a small group of friends into a room. He had been troubled, quiet, and he finally told them why. He had a dream. He was walking through the White House late at night. The room's empty, unusually quiet. He kept following a sound like people crying. He walked through hall after hall until he reached a room where a body was laid out. A coffin, soldiers standing guard around it. He asked one of them who died. The soldier said, the president. He was killed by an assassin. Lincoln woke up. He couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. 11 days later, he was shot at Ford's Theater. Now, I want to be careful here. This doesn't mean dreams can predict the future. Scientists don't believe they can. Hundreds of millions of people have complex dreams every night, and every once in a while, by pure probability, something from a dream resembles something that later happens. Lincoln probably had thousands of dark dreams during the war. This is the one his friend wrote down. But here is what is interesting about it. Lincoln knew his life was in danger. Assassination plots had already been uncovered, and his brain, while asleep, was doing exactly what Theory 2 predicts, running the scenario, simulating the threat, trying to prepare him. His dreaming brain was looking out for him. He just didn't listen. So, why do we dream? We are not completely sure. Maybe it's emotional therapy, maybe it's survival training, maybe it's background feeling, or maybe it's your brain fighting to keep your vision alive. Maybe it's all four at the same time. What I find most interesting is, we have been to the moon, we have mapped the entire human genome, we can edit DNA, we can see galaxies billions of light years away, and we still don't fully know what happens inside your own head while you are lying in your bed tonight. The next time you wake up with the feeling of a dream still clinging to you, just a mood or an image, something you can't quite hold, just know that your brain was working quietly on something it decided mattered. You just don't get to know what. If this kind of thing is interesting to you, you'll like the next video. I'll see you there.